Jade, activate the drum roll, or however we kick this off. Yeah. Yeah, so today's webinar is a panel, which I'm super excited about because I don't have to really do anything. I just get to showcase their collective brilliance, which is a strength of mine. I'm really good at harvesting expertise from those who are kind enough to be in my network. And Mallory, Melody, and Jamie have, I don't know what the technical term is, but like boatloads of webinar or membership experience between them. And I'm just really grateful to be able to call on them when I need it and to use it to serve you guys as well. So the goal today is to really just ask questions that you guys are wondering, to just like learn from the experience, the trials and missteps that they have had with their clients who are small business owners just like all of us, and the potholes and pitfalls that they've stumbled over. Maybe we can avoid or take the shortcuts that they've learned. I do want to introduce them or give them a chance to introduce themselves, but I also want to make sure that we like use our time efficiently and that this webinar isn't like 30 minutes of how badass Melody is for climbing Kilimanjaro last year, which she did. Yeah.
Would not do it
again. So let's start with Jamie.
Oh, awesome. Okay, well, first of all, it is always a joy and a pleasure to hang out with you fabulous people. So I feel truly honored to be on this panel today. For those of you who don't know me, I am Jamie DeBose. I am the CEO and founder of Zimplicity.now.com, and we help service providers, namely coaches, speakers, authors, trainers, creative visionaries, so to speak, share, sell, and teach what they love through marketing, membership, and metrics. And we do that with a variety of different, strategies and tools and resources that are all customized to where you are. And, there is no one size fits all, especially when it comes to membership sites. So every day is a new adventure at Zimplicity.
Let's go to Mallory next. Okay, Mallory, so founder of Plum Crazy Automation. Mallory and I worked together at Infusionsoft back in the day.
Sure. So I help mostly coaches and consultants that have membership sites or online courses. And I work really hard to take the tech struggles out of their day so they can focus on who they serve and not what their Infusionsoft campaign is doing in this current moment. And I am Ravenclaw as my Hogwarts house.
Melody, as you take a sip of what appeared to be a glass of just straight gin, we'll let you introduce yourself. Tell us who Business Tech Ninjas serves.
So who we are, who we serve. So I run Business Tech Ninjas. We're a team of 10 located mostly in Canada, a little bit in the States. We specialize in scaling membership site owners. Our ones are people are making really good money with their membership sites, but their systems just kind of suck. So we come in and we do a lot of admin work and system work to really make it smooth, to help them get to that next level, because they get that glass ceiling of I can't continue to sell without making a lot of people very unhappy unless we fix some of these customer service issues. So we really specialize in helping scaling membership sites, and they vary across a lot of different industries.
Thank you guys for making time for this. Memberships are a powerful way to serve a big audience. And it's a powerful way to do it that scales, that doesn't necessarily burn you out or deplete you. However, as sexy or appealing as the idea of like recurring revenue might be, there are some things that you need to look out for and some considerations that you need to have. And so the goal for this webinar is to just tackle as many of those as possible so that if you have a membership model business, you can make the most out of it. And if you don't, but you want one, you have some direction or steps you can follow to start to layer it into your business and design something that allows you to multiply who you serve. I also want to give a big shout out to Jade, who many of you know is my brand new assistant to the regional manager / community manager. Hi, Jade. She'll be in the chat primarily responding to you guys there and shouting out Beyonce lyrics from time to time. And prompting me when Jamie needs to be promoted or when we miss questions. So Like I mentioned at the beginning, this is my first time hosting a webinar on Zoom, so no doubt we will continue to get things wrong, and thanks in advance for your patience. Without any further ado, let's jump into some of the questions that people have submitted ahead of time. All right, so question number one. I'm curious how you guys would define the difference between a membership and a community, because it might. Well, I'll just leave it there. I won't give you any more context than that. But like when somebody asks, like, "Hey, I want a membership," does it mean that they also want a community? Is a community a separate thing? How do you think about those in terms of like where they overlap or differentiate, or how a business could take advantage of them? Mallory, you look like you've got something profound to say. No pressure. Go ahead now.
I don't know if it's profound, but I would say the biggest difference to me is when I hear community, I think of members interacting with each other and having more of a group conversation, versus a membership could be, I'm the membership leader and I have all my members, but it's one to many instead of a many to many kind of environment. That's my initial thought.
I think I got that. The audio was kind of cutting up for me a little bit. I don't know if that's on my end or on yours, but Jamie's nodding like maybe she wants to build on that.
Yeah, totally. I feel the same. I think that community seems to be more peer-led, and membership tends to be more of a facilitator role that you as a business owner would play in that. I do think that community can be a part of membership. In fact, I think it's a huge part of why people join memberships, but I don't think that membership is necessary. Like, it's like you can go one way but can't go the other. And I think it does have a lot to do with kind of who's facilitating the learning or the doing or the conversation. Is it kind of peer-to-peer, or is it more leader to student or to member relationship there? That's
fair. And Melody, I'll let me add some color here of my own, and then I'll give you a chance to build on it. So I almost think of it like a square rectangle, right? Like a community. Well, maybe not a square rectangle. A community is like part of a membership, but not every membership needs to have a community.
Yes, that's what I was trying to. Yes, same page.
Okay, Melody, go ahead.
To agree with everything that's already been said, and additionally, I'm yet to see too many paid communities specifically. I'm sure that they are out there, but they're not as common. Like typically, if someone's going to pay money, like a community, there's tons of forums out there, but typically a forum is going to be something that's free. It's also one of the first things that we say when someone starts a membership is you're going to want some form of community. That is one of the biggest drivers of membership site success, and I would highly recommend not to exclude that from your membership option. I haven't seen too many wildly successful sites that are charging that are just community that don't have a membership site aspect to them.
Yeah, I think, and so let me use this opportunity to get some free coaching from the three of you. The majority of the MonkeyPod OG members say that the Facebook group is their favorite part of the membership, that it's the most valuable aspect of the MonkeyPod membership. That being so for some people, like when they think of the MonkeyPod membership, it is the community component. Now, because I also technically have other aspects, the webinar archive, live events like this, right? Like there are other components to the membership, but for that person, it's like that is how they think about it. So is that an example of a paid community, or is that just a segment of the membership because there are other factors?
I think having that membership aspect, because we buy on feeling and justify on logic. So I pay for the OG membership because I think it's amazing and I love it. And I definitely 100% am mostly in there just because of that Facebook group, because I love to see the conversation back and forth. But it would be hard for you to justify the cost of it if not for your membership site content. So it's almost like the community is why you love it and why you stay in there, but it's hard to justify just paying for community. So it's like the membership content and stuff that you can go into makes it so I'm like, I just like the community. And if you took away all those things, I'd probably still keep paying, but it makes it more logical for me.
Yeah. And just for my own sake, would you pay more if I, go ahead, Jamie.
Yeah, so what's coming up for me around what you're saying, Melody, is like I have clients that are not comfortable or don't want to exert the amount of time, energy, and effort into having the community piece. And I always tell them, like, don't let that stop you from building a membership. So while community is a huge component of great memberships like Monkey Pod, it's definitely not for everyone, especially if you're not in a place in your business where you can like sustain the community manager aspect, or, you know, kind of all the things that come with having a community.
One of the beautiful things about someone that is maybe not so passionate about community, if they've got great content, their people will do it for them.
Yeah, totally.
It will happen on its own on your content anyways. If you're comfortable doing that, then by far it's a good idea to do it. But if you're not, let your members will come to you and start pushing that forward for you.
Yep.
Ooh, there's a poll.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. That's I don't want to brag.
Oh.
Things are getting pretty serious. I just launched a poll because I'd love to know, I guess, what portion of the people who are on live already have a membership, or like have designs for one, like they've been thinking about it, or just like it's an idea and they're like, hey, I see a lot of these and I want to add one maybe someday, but I don't know where or when it would fit. So it looks like most people. Yeah. Oh, okay. It's
I don't think we can see the answers as a panelist, nor can we vote. Which.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed.
Well, yeah. So the answer, I don't know how to share it with you guys other than just verbally. We got eight of 18, 47% said yes, I already have one. 30% said no, but I want one, and 25% said maybe someday. And we had, holy cow, 17 out of 18 people voted. So we have one holdout who's not participating. And
it actually might, well, no, because I upgraded.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so I just closed the poll. I have an option to share results. Does that work? Does that do something?
Nice.
I can see it.
There you go. So you guys can audit the numbers, the stats that I gave out, make sure that I was being truthful. But that's exciting for me because that means that half of you already have memberships, and the other half either have plans for one or are open to that concept. I guess that makes sense. That's why you're here. So I want to know this. What most of the people you three work with come to you when they are ready to either grow it or have a plan and ready to launch it, right? What makes your life easy? Maybe that's an assumption that I'm making. Melody rolled her eyes or waffled a little bit. Okay, but let me ask this: what would your dream client have done before they reach out to you? What are the building blocks that set you guys up for success when you're helping a membership or a business launch a membership?
I'm not going first.
All right, let's go back to Mallory.
Let's pick on you, Mallory.
I always like it when they know what they want, because the worst thing is when someone comes to me and I ask questions and all of the answers are, I don't know, I haven't thought about that, I'm not sure what I want it to look like, I'm not sure what my content's going to be, I'm not sure if I want a community. That's the nightmare scenario for me, because I can't tell you what's going to work for your audience most of the time. You know your people, so if you have a plan, that makes it easier for me. So I like to know that you have at least an idea of what the content's going to be. Ideally, it's already done, so we can just throw it in there and build the thing. And having a vision of what you want the client experience to be too, because a website, like a membership site, can look however you want it to. You need to give some kind of parameters of, here's an example of something I like, or here's what I want people to experience. They should come in and feel the sense of community. Okay, that tells me that we need to make sure the forum and the interactive or a link to the Facebook group is the most prominent thing. So
does it help if we say make it pop a lot? Is that really useful guidance and
do you want actual sound effects? They click and they hear a pop? What does that mean?
And Jamie, this is probably permission you don't need, but as somebody who helped me build my membership site, you're welcome to say, don't do what Greg did, or this was challenging about working with him, or highlight, what did work well in that. For those of you who haven't seen it, I'm referencing the migration documentary that Jamie and I produced together a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I thought that was the most fun project ever too. Like, I am not saying that just to say that. What is helpful for us whenever we're starting new projects with, somebody we're building a membership site for, is kind of to echo Mallory, the content is always it can be a huge roadblock for launching and moving forward. And that's not something that I can do for you. That's something that you're responsible for. So it's one of those things where you have to take ownership of, being on time with your content, making sure that you have all of those, components in place. Now, if you don't have an idea of, what that content looks like, we can totally work that out in our strategy that happens before we're starting to build. But you need to understand that you either need to have this content ready, or you need to be ready to do the work while we're kind of working in tandem with the actual site build itself. And, I think another thing that is really helpful too, if, and I know we all kind of have a specialization in the tools that we like to use. And as somebody who kind of sees and does it all and also has my preferences, I also like it when a client will give me their likes or dislikes or pros and cons. They have done a little bit of research on their own to kind of know what direction we're going in. Because a Kajabi membership site is completely different from an Access Ally site, right? Or there's different things that we have to take into consideration when building. So kind of doing your own research before you come, to the table with your idea. Sure. To work with a strategist is helpful.
So I feel like there's got to be a balance, right? Because it doesn't help them if they come to you and say, I don't know what I want, but it probably doesn't also leave you guys much room to to apply your expertise if they're super prescriptive in terms of what they want. Right. As well.
You have to have an open mind.
Melody, I think I've verbatim heard you say that content is a stumbling block for most people. What are the other things that people overlook or that they trip over? Whether it's receivables or cancellations, or are there any common things that you help regularly people plan for as they're getting started?
I might come out a little bit left field on this one. But beyond the detail of exactly what everybody gives us, it really for us comes down to the mindset of how you approach it. We work best, and I found that whether you're starting out or you've got an established one, to come at the mindset of you are going to have to try a couple different things. It is not going to be this is it and this is all it's ever going to be, and you're never going to have to do anything else. There's an experimentation process with membership sites, because what works for one site won't work for another. So coming with that mindset is so incredibly helpful. And the other side for us, and it speaks to what Mallory and Jeannie had said, of a partnership mindset. We have clients that come and they in their minds can think, I am so incredibly clear of exactly what I want. Why can't you just do this for me? Yeah. Of why can't you just do this? And they'll throw a bunch of stuff at you. It's hey, but we need to break this down. We're working together on this. And that partnership mindset of being able to say, hey, this is what I'll do for you, but this is the clarity that we need from you in order to do this, has been fundamental to every single successful membership site that we've built. And that ability to see beyond that, this is not the end point, this is just a step. No matter how big your membership site is, you're gonna continue to grow it, you're gonna continue to work on it, you're gonna make it better and better over time.
I think that's probably, if you zoom out on that advice, it's probably just small business in general, right? Entrepreneurship in general is You need to be flexible. You need to acknowledge that you're not going to get everything right, and it's going to be a work in progress. And that it is also true for the membership component of your business. I didn't mention it at the beginning of that question, but that was from Elizabeth, who I don't know if she was able to join live. I believe her words were shit show week, so she may not have been able to make it live. But thanks for the question, Elizabeth. Okay, I think Jamie mentioned like it depends on like your tool will oftentimes like make a difference in terms of like the approach that you take. Jamie and I chose Access Ally for my site. I'm curious for the three of you, like technology is oftentimes a hurdle for people, and transitioning technology, which is the case that we found myself in, can be as well. So like what platforms do you work in most commonly? What ones do you avoid, right? And like what are the distinctions that people should consider when choosing the platform for their membership? Let's go back to Mallory.
I'm just gonna have to go first every time.
Well, so
like
here's the
this.
problem, right?
Right.
It's been the longest since Mallory spoke. So my brain is like, well, how do I go back to So I don't really care who goes.
You've got a consistent order. I like this. I like going last. This works for me.
I'll do it. Okay, so
Hold on. And let's like, you can also say pass. Like we don't all need to speak equally on each question, right? If somebody like said what you were gonna say, just be like, I think she covered it. I've got a boatload of questions to get to.
okay. My favorite membership platforms to work with are both WordPress plugins. I like Memberium and I like Access Ally. And that's it. I don't want to work in any other ones because you can keep adding on, but then you're not really a true expert in all of them. And one that I shy away from is Kajabi because it just doesn't integrate with your CRM as well as the other two. And I'm kind of addicted to all the cool things that you can do when you have that direct API connection versus just zaps back and forth. So that's why I lean that way.
Cool. So let me clarify for anyone who wasn't familiar with those, right? So if the options you mentioned, Access Ally and Memberium, are WordPress plugins. So you would have your own WordPress site, and then the plugin is what creates the membership gated content. The juxtaposition is rather than having your own site with a membership plugin installed, would be a self-hosted solution, and Kajabi or like Teachable, those are like solutions that allow you to create, or Customer Hub, that allow you to build, and they host it for you. And you're saying Kajabi doesn't have a direct connection to Infusionsoft. I think it does connect to some other tools, but Infusionsoft is like conspicuously missing from that one.
Yeah, you can have a Zapier connection to like say add to course or something, and I think that's kind of where it ends.
Integration is a very interesting word when you see that on the sales page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For Kajabi specifically?
For a lot of different tools out there, if you see an integration with Infusionsoft, I'm always like, okay, what kind of integration? A lot of times it's like, we'll apply a tag.
Right, that's fair.
A little more from my integrations than just applying a tag.
Yeah.
So considerations would be like, number one, does it integrate with my website or does it need to? And number two, does it connect to my CRM? And for, I think everyone on here, it's either Infusionsoft or Keep, right? And how, right? How robust is that connection? Because you might find it can create a contact, but it doesn't update their progress through different content or yeah. That's what you're saying, Melody?
Yes, we like to, we're, especially when you scale, we want to provide an exceptional customer experience without necessarily having to spend more time on it after that initial investment. If you don't have a good integration, then you're chopped off at the legs, I guess.
Yeah, I've run into that a little bit with the course I launched just recently for Fuel, because we did build it on Kajabi. And as Mallory pointed out, the integration to Infusionsoft is through Zapier, which is another tool, which is fine. I'm comfortable with it enough that I can get what I need out of it. But what I didn't forecast was like our Zapier. We've needed to upgrade our Zapier license 3 times already because of the number of touch points to update for each video. Like too many people, consuming content. What a problem to have.
I was just going to say that's a great problem.
It is, and don't get me wrong. I'm talking like we updated from like $20 a month to $129 a month, but there were 3 up levels in between there, and that's still less than like $500 a month for our tech stack. But like, you know, if you're not planning for those types of things, the third tool is a consideration that you might have overlooked because you have to pay for that integration. Melody, you work primarily with Memberium, is that right?
Primarily with Memberium, and I love Access Ally as well. I think it's a really solid tool, but like as what Mallory had said, of all of these tools are simplistic in some ways, but complex in others. And you can only be really, really good at a couple of them. And so we've chosen Memberium just because of we like to pull in a lot of different plugins and a lot of different tools all over the place, whereas Access Ally has a lot of built-in tools already. But I like to pick and kind of choose by a couple different elements that depending on the different client. And I found that Memberium does tend to work a little bit better for that, but Access Ally definitely has that all-in-one element that they really do well at. And we're also working with a new plugin called Rocket Member, which will work with HubSpot, which is very similar, which is going to work, which is very similar to Memberium, built by the same people that built Memberium. So we're excited about dabbling in that as well right now. Just one more point on tech stack to add on what you said, Greg, which is a rule I've been thinking about and talking about a lot with our internal team of more tools means more, kind of like more money, more problems, more tools, more problems. Of anytime, like it's like, oh, well, it will connect. You just need this other thing to connect it. Think about the more tools, more problems thing.
Yeah, there's a trade-off, like you said. I reach for tools that are like more inclusive, things that have a lot of options, because the more integrations you have, the more vulnerabilities you have. And if one of them stops working or the connection in between stops working, troubleshooting becomes increasingly complex, right? That is part of why Infusionsoft is so powerful, because it has your CRM, your email marketing, and for many people, your shopping cart, your pipeline, and your affiliate modules. And those could be 5 or more, you know, individual tools, but they're all native, you know, they're all in-house. And so the same thing is true when you're choosing your membership site, right? If you choose Access Ally, you know, you've got your WordPress, and then Access Ally includes like e-learning tools. But if you choose Memberium, most people are going to pair it with LearnDash, which is, it gives you more flexibility maybe, but it is an extra consideration in terms of, you know, tying those things together. Jamie, what do you want to add as far as tech considerations?
Yeah, so I feel like I've seen and done it all too, like for years and years of like being in this space. And it's been really cool to see the evolution of plugins for membership sites dating back like Wishlist Member all the way to what we have now. And my preference is Access Ally as well. I'm a certified partner with them. I love also, speaking of evolutions, I have loved seeing them grow from a pop-up plugin to a full-blown, you know, membership site plugin, with everything being, like Melody was saying, kind of all-inclusive. When especially clients come to me that are not on Infusionsoft, which I know this might not be super relevant for people here specifically, but Access Ally and ActiveCampaign has been our go-to, you know, like our go-to tech stack for people who are transitioning from something like Kajabi, Teachable, et cetera, into a WordPress-based solution. And I've been really happy with what we've been able to do as far as, you know, functionality and integration with those two. For me, the big key is the all-in-one stuff. I love, again, looking at somebody who has ActiveCampaign is probably going to have Stripe versus an e-commerce solution in Infusionsoft. So it naturally makes sense that Access Ally's order forms and, you know, membership subscription process would be a really good fit for them. And having it all in one place somehow seems a little less intimidating for my clients that way. And it's fun, yeah, kind of like Melody was saying, to kind of pick and choose the strong points of, again, which this goes back to, like, do your research first so you can come to me and go like, okay, I know that Access Ally kind of has these things that I'm kind of looking at, and I want to compare that to Memberium to see like what, you know, like what's the comparable solution here. So we can, again, kind of customize it based on the specific needs of the client versus just oh yeah, Infusionsoft and Membarium, or like Access Ally and Infusionsoft, or like whatever, it's just the standard solution.
I think there's a slight difference in our methods and who we serve too. Of typically when we're working with clients, we're working with people that are at a point of scale where they need stuff that consistently always works. So usually I don't ask what technology the client wants to use.
Sure.
We used to, but now it's, if they work with us, we have a very specific tech stack. We say, this is what you use, because I know and I can guarantee you this is going to work consistently. You're not going to have a bunch of members.
Like that confidence in what you're using, not only for you to like give your best to the client, but also for you and your team to know that you're expertly trained in these exact things, so they can feel confident knowing that the person building is like on their A game. I think that's awesome.
There's a little bit of ambiguity of some people will have slight differences, but it also means that if something does go wrong with one of the tools, like LearnDash did an update not too long ago, and certificates broke on all the sites. So we knew, one client alerted us in the UK, and by the time everyone woke up in the EST and PST, we had it fixed on all the sites.
Oh, that's
so there's a beauty about that.
Yeah. So for like your team, it's like the more your tech stack that you like support is consolidated, the better experience it allows you to provide for all the people you support, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think there's something to be said for that expertise, right? Like that's why you hire a strategist or an expert like the three of you, is so that I don't have to like, research all those things on my own. I can say, okay, you've worked with all these different tools, and here's the ones you keep coming back to because they work or are reliable or are flexible. Chris Barber is happy that we mentioned Wishlist, which all three of us, or all four of us, there are four, math was a strong suit of mine, went through the Tribe course this year. And Stu McLaren was one of the founders of Wishlist. And I believe Chris worked with Stu like way back in the day. You can correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, but yeah. What was that?
I was just going to pop in. I was just looking at the Q&A. Kwanzaa has a great question. She asks.
Customer Hub.
Yeah, Customer Hub. So we could touch on that just like super briefly. I know we probably want to get moving with questions and answers, but like, Customer Hub is Infusionsoft's membership platform, course membership platform. I personally am not a fan, but that doesn't mean that it's not great. So I'm just going to say that. But Greg, I was wondering if you wanted to speak to that, seeing how we moved you from Customer Hub to a WordPress solution.
Did anyone else notice that Jamie just like took over hosting there? So actually, Infusionsoft does not own Customer Hub anymore. It's an interesting story. They some employees split off, started Customer Hub, grew it to $1 million+ in annual revenue. Infusionsoft bought it so that they would have an in-house membership solution. Infusionsoft stopped updating it for like 4+ years, which is what eventually drove me to want to transition. Jamie was like, your membership site it's lacking. I forget the delicate term she used, but so we moved to Access Ally, and I kid you not, 3 months later, like basically the day that the project finally finished, they sold Customer Hub back to the original owners, who have resumed like developing it. So Customer Hub is now again maintained by the Levitt brothers, and I actually haven't logged back into it. I haven't like gone back to it. But my impression is that it's got some new life. They've rolled out some different enhancements and stuff for it. So if Kwanzaa has signed up for it recently, she probably has more experience with it than I do. But go ahead, Melody.
I think I might be able to speak to this. So we've been working with Kyle Levitt and his team for the past 6 or 7 months. So he's put together a board of people to help do the revamp of Customer Hub. And they've been working very, very hard on it and have some really, really cool stuff coming down the pipeline. Customer Hub, I believe it's not quite there yet, but with the new releases that I've just seen with their mobile developments, it's probably going to be our go-to solution for somebody that's not ready for a Membarium solution, because it is much more a when we think of membership sites, it's hosted or self-hosted. So a hosted version is like a Kajabi where you log in somewhere else to access it, whereas self-hosted is like a WordPress type thing. And a self-hosted is easier to set up. And Customer Hub has some really, really amazing updates to their builder and what they're going to be offering coming up that I think is going to make it a real player coming up in the next little while. So Kwanzaa, you've made a good decision. Don't you worry. They have your back over there at Customer Hub.
Yeah, I wanted to say, like,
they're still a little quiet about it, so they haven't quite let everybody know all the wonderful, magical things they have coming down the pipeline. And they made me sign a very serious document that I'm not allowed to say. So
it sounds fancy and important. I'll say that. All right, let's move on here. I'm curious about metrics. That was a common question. We got a few people asking about, like, what type of statistics should I be tracking? Or do you find membership owners constantly reaching for to guide decisions? And I will start with anyone other than Mallory.
Should we rock, paper, scissors, Jamie?
Let's see. I'll take it. What, can you repeat the question?
Here's what I want to know.
I was listening.
Right. So when it comes to a membership, the idea, and I'm going to use monthly, but it could be annually. The term of the membership is up in the air. But like the goal is to increase your number of members while managing the people who are canceling, right? And so largely the things that people measure are retention, which is the number of people that stay, and churn, which is the number of people that leave. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's, like, is it that simple? You just you want to focus on, and I believe those are just two sides of the same coin, right? Retention and churn are effectively how long people are sticking around.
Yeah.
Is that right?
So I have a really great blog post on this that I talked about, like, which is more important, right? Like acquisition or retention? Because I get that question a lot. Like, oh, like I want to be focusing on launching and like bringing new members in and all, and all the things. But then they just like forget that they have this huge membership site of people that need to be taken care of, right? So
sure.
Like acquisition and retention are like non-negotiables for me. Like we have to be tracking those in order to measure growth and sustainability and like all the things, right? Yeah, Chris, like same, like retention is huge, but what I don't think people understand is what to do in order to see higher retention. And that is where onboarding, creating engagement, creating gamification, and like all the fancy membership buzzwords that you hear, like those are actual real things that are super important to a healthy membership site. And you can't just say, oh, like I'm paying attention to my retention, although that'd be really fun to say because that rhymes.
Sure.
You got to find a way to use that now. There has to be a way.
That's a hook.
I just came up with a social media graphic, y'all.
Social media graphic, blog. I love that you just use y'all because as a Canadian, I love when people say y'all. I find it very fun.
So
I'm going to start saying A now just to mix it up. So
acquisition, retention, and then also like your monthly recurring revenue. Like you want to be tracking those people metrics, but you also want to be making sure that the money coming in is, making sense with what's going out. And churn is going to happen. Like that's a totally like just natural part of having a membership. But there again, as long as we're making sure we're paying attention to who's coming in, how many people are coming in, then we're able to set better goals and we're able to set better long-term goals for where we see our membership in, 12 months, 2 years, et cetera, et cetera.
A thing that I like to do with my clients too, especially ones that have had a membership for a while, is like the problem that Jamie was talking about where they're so focused on acquisition, they're not paying attention so much to the retention. You need to know your cost of acquisition. How much are you spending to get a new member and the average length that they're staying? Like, are you making more per person than it costs you to get them in there? if not, you need to make some changes to how you nurture your members first before you keep spending a ton of money to get people that are going to cancel faster than you can make a profit off of them. Because that's really what you're looking to do at the end of the day. That sounds a little like cold, I guess. Make profit off of people, but...
Listen, I will not apologize for striving to run a profitable business, right? Like that is the goal.
You're never going to donate to charity unless you make a profitable business.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I'm going to pull out a Stu McLaren quote, right? It's not about the money. It's about what the money makes possible.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's true for just business in general, right? It's not like there is a stigma or a shame around like making money, but like that's the goal, is like a healthy business that supports, that's a win for everyone. Go ahead, Jamie.
I have a great client like story about retention and all of the metrics. So we just recently, we were going over some retention numbers for a client that has a membership site. It's like a $97 a month thing. She's doing very well. She's putting a lot of like great strategy in her Facebook ads and on all of that stuff. She also has a $49 trial, and that, you know, that's part of her strategy that works for her. But the thing was, we were curious, like how many people are actually staying for that trial and like continuing on past, you know, that free or that $49 period. And what we realized is that 80% of her trial customers stayed for an average of 3 months. So she was able to spend more, like, so the math made sense for her, right? But if you would have looked at it just in a vacuum of like, oh, you know, these people are paying $49 and I'm paying like $98 or whatever it was, you know, in ad spend, on first glance, you wouldn't think that that would be a smart decision. But because we were tracking very specific numbers, we were able to make a very clear, very educated, you know, decision for her that's something we need to ramp up. That's something we need to put more energy into. So it was just super, super fun to see how that's the thing about numbers, right? And the story that they tell. It's not just about, oh, these numbers living in a vacuum. It's what data turns into metrics, which turns into like decisions. And it was just really cool. I just wanted to share.
Confidence comes from clarity, right? Like you can't make confident decisions unless you are clear on like where you're going. And that comes from the data that you've collected that empowers the predictions that you're forecasting.
Totally.
I hear people ask all the time, like, what's a good cost of acquisition for Facebook ads? Like, what should I be spending per lead or per customer, right? And the answer, unfortunately, is it depends, right?
Yeah.
Like, well, what is that person worth to you? And if you can't answer that, if you don't know what your customer lifetime value is for an average member, then it becomes really difficult to say what you are or are not willing to spend. So that's what I would recommend for people, is to measure that member lifetime value, so that you know when we get a member, on average, they stay 10 months. And at $35 a month, like the OG membership is, that's $350 of new revenue. So if I'm not going to spend, maybe I would spend $349 to capture that member, but I know that if my cost of acquisition is $20 to get a new member, I'm going to earn a multiplicative return on that. I just wanted to really say all that to get to use the word multiplicative. So
I was about to say, what a word! Wow,
I'm gonna try.
Great job.
Okay, we got an anonymous attendee. I don't know how that happened, but somebody said, "Can you describe?" Oh, maybe they left because it did say Amanda earlier. Can you describe your membership reports? Reporting is the biggest hole in Memberium Infusionsoft membership operations that we have used.
Yeah, so I was actually just typing this to this anonymous person. I might have a spreadsheet I can share with the people too for that, just to give you some basic, like already calculated numbers. Anonymous person.
Jade said this in the chat earlier, but I want to make sure I say it aloud as well. When I give the recording out tonight or tomorrow, I would love to include any of the resources that we've mentioned. If you guys have blog posts or content or spreadsheets that you think will be useful, I want to collect all those links and make sure they're in that email as well. Okay, so we sort of touched on this with customer acquisition, but earlier, Josh had asked, like, no, not Josh. Somebody asked about member acquisition, like what lead gen strategies you see work well for, maybe it was in my spreadsheet or my sheet here. Where do new members come from? Like, what do you recommend for people? And what are your thoughts on a free trial of memberships? When is it a good fit? When is it a bad idea? What's the trade-off if I do a $1 membership versus a free trial or what have you?
First thing, collect a credit card. Don't offer a free trial and not collect a credit card unless you have a really, really proven method of converting people. It's really hard when you get someone excited enough to give you their contact information. You need that free trial and just put big block letters. Cancel anytime. It's real easy, and you will convert more people from that. $0 order forms, yeah.
Yeah. So the idea, let me just mansplain that a little bit for everyone. It's because if they start a free trial, right, and then at the end of that free trial they have to make another decision to insert their credit card, the likelihood that they will make both those decisions goes down. But if you only make them make the first decision and then it's going to parlay into a membership and you already have their payment details, it's seamless, it's frictionless. And so if you have to collect a credit card at the end of that, you're going to lose people. That's the point, right?
Yeah, there was one we were looking at today. We were doing an audit for a membership site owner, and I thought it was really interesting because she had 3 different pricing models. She had a sign on for X amount of dollars for like one price for 3 months, and then it was X amount of dollars for one price for 6 months. It was X amount of dollars for one price for 12 months, which was incredibly confusing when you looked at it. And I was like, there is literally no reason for you to make it capped at a certain number of months. Like, why are you shooting yourself in the foot and forcing them to say, yes, I want to come
make
on.
a choice over and over?
Yeah, like you know, free trial, and then you're going to be charged X amount of dollars until you cancel anytime. Quick little button. We won't give you any hassle, but we will probably email you and ask you why. But we don't put that on
the flip side of that is like, it's like the gym model, right? Like most gyms are kept in business because of people who forgot that they had a membership or you know, are paying it and not using it, right? And I remember the very first coaching client I had as an Infusionsoft success coach. His name was Doug, and his business was like youth sports, like training videos and like coaching, you know, support resources. And on call number 3 with him, I was like, all right, Doug, let's get a promotion out to your members. And he was like, I can't email my members. And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, Greg, most of them have forgotten that they're paying. And if I email them, they're going to cancel. And I was just like, buddy, like I got some bad news for you on this business model here. Like maybe I'm naive or like altruistic. I don't know what the right term is, but like, I don't know, your members should know that they're subscribed and that they should feel like it's a good decision. Now, that being said, we don't want to make it difficult to stay a member, but we also don't want to manipulate people. So I just want to call that out. You want to be transparent and ethical about it.
Yeah, good.
Okay,
There's
so
technical term for that. It's called shelf help.
It's called what?
Shelf help.
Shelf help?
Shelf sits on your shelf for when you would like to use it.
Well, that's interesting because I've actually had people describe the MonkeyPod membership as like an insurance policy.
Yeah.
They're like, Greg, I hope I don't have issues, but if I do, I am happy to pay for it so I can pop in there and ask questions. All right, fair enough. Okay, so you guys are all obviously avid MonkeyPod blog readers, and you consume all of the content I put out religiously, of course. So you would have seen.
Your email copy is fantastic. That's why I consume it, though. I really enjoy getting your emails in my inbox. And I also every so often I open it like, oh, Greg sent you. Oh no, it's from Infusionsoft. Never mind, Greg's not emailing me personally. I'm not that special. Okay. The quality.
You know damn well that we communicate personally exclusively through Instagram stories.
Very true.
Okay. What I was gonna say is that a couple months ago I had a blog post called "Create Your Customers," which was about like producing the people that you are the best fit for. And I feel like that's a really natural strategy for memberships. Have you worked with anyone who has like a course that builds the person that is the best fit for their membership, or a checklist that walks them through the things they need to do, and then they're like ready for this membership component? Like, how do you see membership model businesses producing their own customers? Actually, Jamie, you can speak about your Zen Connect membership, right? Like that's what your marketing foundations course does, right?
Yeah, so I started out as going through Tribe this past year and having more time on my hands. Thank you, Corona, for that. No, but I always knew that, the membership site component would be something I wanted to build into Zenplicity. But I also, once I got creating my customer journey and doing all of the things, realized, oh my gosh, like I need to put some foundational elements in place to like bring everybody onto the same page before this membership is going to be valuable for them. And so they're going to like understand why they need to stay forever and ever in Zen Connect. No, so what I did was I took all of the concepts that, I talk about with clients and all of the things that are important. I distilled it down into 4 different sections of foundations that I thought could be relevant depending on whether or not that person like had just started their business, or things that they need to revisit if they've been in business for a long time, because I'm sure we can all speak to kind of sometimes glossing over things like, oh yeah, I'm tracking data and Google Analytics. Yeah, like I've got that installed, but I'm not really looking at it frequently. There's just certain stories that I kept hearing over and over. So I put together a Laying the Foundations for Marketing Mastery course that actually serves as a free lead magnet or a free lead in to the membership. So on my waitlist page, when my membership Zen Connect is not open, I'm funneling people to the free course so that they are, Greg, you said it best on one of our calls, like our tribe calls, when you called it like a packing list for camp. It's like, okay, I know I need to get the sunscreen and the beach towels and like all of this stuff. I might not need to go buy all of that stuff, but I need to like gather it together, right? And like pack my bags before going on this journey. And that is exactly what I intended and like wanted to do with that. And it's worked out really, really well. And I've gotten a lot of really great feedback on it. So
did anyone else hear that Jamie said a packing list for camp and then listed all the things she wants to bring to the beach? A boogie board and a cooler.
Yeah. Our camp is actually situated right by a beach, Greg. You didn't know that?
Hey,
yeah,
I mean,
we are in San Diego.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, but not everybody. We don't need to rub it in everyone's face, right? Hey, I just realized it's already 3:00, so I'm happy to stick around and keep answering questions. I've got a few more, but I also want to be respectful of your time. And I know that like Bernadette just had to jump off; she had a client. So for those of you who have a hard stop, thank you for joining live. Just briefly. Can we do like where people can find you if they have to run, like where they can learn more about what you do? And obviously all 3 of them are OG members, so you're welcome to connect to the Grove. But Mallory, tell us where people can learn more about you.
My website, plumcrazyautomation.com. And, if you don't want to type all of that out, then just search Mallory in the Grove and message me on Facebook. That'll work too.
Or search Mallory in the soon to be released MonkeyPod OG directory that she is building for me. I know. Jamie, tell them where to find you.
Yeah, so you can find me at zenplicitynow.com, or my probably favorite place to hang out on social media is on Instagram, and my Instagram is at Jamie DeBose.
Jamie is a pioneer.
Why are we not friends yet is my real question.
Jamie is a pioneer in the field of Instagram Reels. She's on the forefront of this new.
Please go watch all of my Reels. They are super fun.
Yep.
Oh, I take notes on every one of Jamie's like stories and Reels. I'm like, this is great. It's like a course.
Melody, you want to tell people where they can learn more about you?
I was going to direct them towards my Instagram, but now that Jamie's talking about these reels, my Instagram's not going to look as cool as hers. So
Yeah.
you should definitely just go to my website, businesstechninjas.com. I love the OG group as well, and will frequently chime in if there's a membership question in there.
Yeah.
But don't compare my Instagram to Jamie's because
Oh
it's not as cool.
Guys, yeah. So, and just for my own sake, are you guys good for a few more minutes, or do you have places you
Yeah.
need to be?
No,
Okay.
I
Good.
Okay, cool. Keep those questions coming if you guys have them, and I'll keep working through this list. Jade, let me know if I'm missing anything in the chat. I literally feel it's my own webinar, and I'm having FOMO from this chat because like I can see it, but I'm not reading it. It's moving too quick, and I feel like they're having a party without us. Okay, so next question. This is the one I was excited about from Kwanzaa, who is a event planner in the Bahamas. Yeah. So she wants to know, do you have any ideas for how a membership model business could work for a beachside event venue on a private island located in Exuma, Bahamas? Or separately, she has two businesses. It's an event planning or an event venue and destination wedding planning business. So sometimes they overlap, of course, but they are separate. Do you see a membership pairing with either of those? And if so, how? And how just bake this into your answer. If there's a mastermind, like team consulting gig on site that takes us all to the Bahamas in order to make it happen.
I'll go.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm offering myself
Okay.
to attend this.
Yes.
Wait,
Yeah.
are Americans allowed in the Bahamas
I
yet?
was just about
Yeah.
to ask.
Just Canadians.
Yeah, Melody's safe. They don't want us. Yeah, they don't want us.
I
So-
love this question.
Yeah, so do you have an idea, or do you want me
I
to kick
do.
it off? Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, no. So and I want to preface this with not every membership has to be indefinite. So with that being said, if you are a destination wedding planner, what if you had a membership that people came into as they got engaged, worked through their process, like to help them plan, that like had resources and things like that for planning. And my, oh my, look at this destination wedding place that you can, have available as well. So when I hear this with your client or, like your people being like a very specific person with a very specific, like start and end date or like time period that they would need, like your venue, for example, it always makes me think of a condensed version of membership where, again, it's not something that they would need all the time, but it could create massive value in the time that they would like need it the most. And it would also position you as an expert and a guide for them to be the hero of their own story. Thank you, hero's journey, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
Because planning a wedding is a big undertaking and
Yes.
it's so stressful. And you're probably doing it for about a year on average, I would think. So that's longer than a lot of people's members stay for their membership.
Exactly. You actually have an advantage.
For a year. Yeah.
Yeah, the idea I had, and I don't know if you guys have seen anything like this, but like if you have a venue, it would probably be in your best interest to find, rather than constantly finding new customers, is to find people who host regular events.
Yes.
So like corporate partnerships, I'm picturing like the way you have a subscription to or a membership to a country club, you could have a membership at this event venue where you host. Maybe it's only once a year, right? Or maybe it's quarterly, but like where you host retreats or team builders or functions. And that could be people who are local to the Bahamas or people who are, a short flight away and can travel for a weekend function for a leadership summit twice a year or whatever. And rather than you cycling through leads who only need a function once, you build up an audience who comes back and like has a routine with you. I don't know what that looks like, but to me, like, there's something there. So
I agree.
just
And
do that.
I'd build on that with, I know several clients and some friends run consistent mastermind events.
Oh,
And
yeah.
also as a business owner to have like I want to be part of a membership that talks about how to host good business events for my clients, and then maybe gives a really sweet discount potentially on using your location as well. I think it very much feeds on Jamie's idea of like, okay, anyone that would use your event space to get a membership that would give them content to help them plan their events, because one of the main reasons I haven't done an event is because that just sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah. Also, like having a go-to place to have an event if you're having them regularly would be huge. Like, as someone who has anxiety, if just going over to someone new's house, like I'm afraid to ring the doorbell. Like, what if it's the wrong house? Like, it's that times 100 when you're planning an event. Like, you don't know what to expect when you get there. Like, having that kind of familiarity with a venue, I think, would be huge.
And I'd like a link to your site because that sounds amazing. And I would like to know.
Yeah. Kwanzaa said private planes right now. Commercial starts back next month. Chris Barber said he has to go. Thanks for hanging out with us, Chris. And I missed another one. Oh, Matt
private plane, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm working on a pilot's license.
Are you for real?
I was going to say Justin is too.
I'm probably not as actively working on it as him, but I did want to feed on something that you were talking about earlier, Jamie. I'm going solo skydiving for the first time next week. So I'm learning how to jump out of planes, and then I'm going to learn how to fly it.
Oh
That's
my gosh.
logical, right?
I think that makes perfect sense. Like 100%. Oh my gosh. Yeah, there's actually a skydive. So Skydive San Diego is like 2 minutes away from my house.
I'll come visit. This is perfect.
Hey.
Jamie, Curtis is in the chat giving a shout out to Zen Connect. So a little love for you there.
Yay, Curtis. Oh my gosh.
And I've got a question here from Matt Humphrey, who said you mentioned when my membership is not open, and can you clarify the open versus not open membership model or approach?
Yes. Okay. So this is one of, I think, the secret sauce magic of membership and how to make them fit into your business plan and your marketing plan and all the plans. So I think we a lot of times have this expectation that, again, kind of like how memberships tend to feel like they need to be indefinite, there is also an assumption that they need to be open all the time, or that you can like have members join all the time. And so the open membership model is one versus the closed membership model. And these two definitely have their pros and cons. I think with the open membership model, if you have a lot of content and you have a really solid social media marketing strategy that you can be promoting something consistently, that could totally work for you. You just have to be careful of your incentives. Like you would want, and again, this is all tribe stuff too. Like this is like I'm echoing Stu McLaren here.
Channeling.
Yeah, I'm like, he's here with us right now, okay? But one of the really like key things you need to remember is that you need to have like, let's say 12 months of bonuses or like specials that you can use to make that promotion special each month, right? So you can constantly have people coming in, but you might not see like, your graph for acquisition is going to look vastly different from a graph that is growing over time. Whereas with the closed business model or, membership launch model, which is what I prefer, I want to only open my membership like probably twice, maybe 3 times a year. So I want to build up, leads through that laying the foundations for marketing mastery course, that free or any other like lead magnets or whatever I feel is, relevant, and then nurture those people to be ready for my launch when it happens. So I know that I have a 6-month time period or a 3-month, whatever the math works out to be for your particular launch schedule, but I have that time to really like love up on my new leads, make sure that I'm creating connections and building relationships with them and being able to kind of like pre-qualify them to be a great candidate for my membership. And I think this model works really well, especially if membership is not like your main focus. Like for me, we're service providers, right? Like we like we work with private clients and do projects with clients. So membership is not like the end all be all solution for my revenue. And that leaves me more wiggle room to be able to decide what I'm promoting and when. So I love, oh, way to go, Greg. Way to throw your link in there. No.
So good.
No, please, oh my gosh, seriously, like please join Tribe when it opens next year.
Well, here's the thing. Even if you don't join the course, just get on his list and pay attention to like how he builds to the launch, how the workshop series goes. His, you know, the whole process is like textbook, right? It's really well
and
done
just do
in
what
practice.
he says. Just do what he says. Don't try to like Tribe works.
Yeah. She's a walking testimonial. Hey, so Andy Peterson asked a question earlier. He said he hates Facebook. Like personally, he hates Facebook, and he goes on there because he wants to check OG group notifications and like see if he could contribute or how it like might serve his business. And like I get that. I spend a ton of time on Facebook because I'm there for a lot of MonkeyPod stuff, both in our membership but also in other, you know, Infusionsoft user groups. So like, how do you? Not all communities have to be on Facebook, but a lot of them are. And the communities that I have seen off Facebook often have lower or sometimes have lower engagement. How do you reconcile that? Like, is it just pick your poison? Like there's a trade-off one way or the other? Like what, any considerations there, or have you guys found an elegant medium? Yeah.
I'm sorry to like take this over, but like I was thinking, so same, talking about Tribe, I was the same way. I'm like, I want a group community aspect or element, but I do not want a Facebook group. Like, I just do not, it's not my thing. Like, I don't like all the distraction for myself or for all of my members. So I have been playing around with, coincidentally, tribe.so, and it is a third-party community forum solution, and it has been fantastic. It looks very similar to like a Facebook group, and so it's kind of like a hybrid of like a Facebook group and also a forum where you can like have topics and all that fun stuff. And it's also free up to 500 members, which
cool.
is a huge win. And then the paid version does have like single sign-on, so you do have the option to, you know, be able to play with integrations that way. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. And my members, I don't know if he's still on here, but Curtis might be able to say, like, it's, oh, good. Yeah. Like,
we need Kurt's input now. Do you like it?
Yeah, Curtis. Yeah. Chat us how you like Zoo, or how you.
Yeah, like I was saying that Andy is still on, who asked the question. I don't know.
And also, I just saw him answer. Yeah. You're welcome, Andy.
And I'll also call out if you do look at Kajabi, sorry, I think I might have cut you off. If you do look at Kajabi, they have a community aspect as well. I haven't played much with it, but it looks to have threads and categories, and you can subscribe for notifications. I was exploring it for the new project on Fuel as like a possible community alternative rather than steering people to a Facebook group. The way I think about it is like most people are already on Facebook to some capacity. So if they're part of a bunch of groups there, it's nice. It can be nice to have them consolidated. And since there are other Infusionsoft communities on there, it felt really natural for my community to live there. But I get that that's not for everyone. And some industries, it may even be inappropriate to have it there because personal profiles and like, yeah. So like it definitely isn't an end all be all. But for all of my members except Andy, I'm just kidding, Andy. It's sort of the lesser of two evils for me. One of you please write a blog post on how to rock your Facebook for just work stuff and not a distraction. Yeah.
If I knew how to do that, I would be making so much more money somehow. I am convinced. Like, Facebook is a wormhole of productivity that just, it all goes in.
And it's by design. Like, that's what they want, right?
It's true.
They're doing it too well.
The metric they're tracking is how long can they get you to stay on Facebook. Just on the communities quickly before we move off. that one thing for B2B communities, B2B memberships, Slack has really started to take over.
Oh, yes.
Personally, I'm in a membership that has a Slack community, and I love being a part of that because it isn't FB, but I still get that notification aspect and I can turn things on or off. The one thing I love from a systems aspect is I can add and remove people. I don't have someone that has to manually do that. And that's by far the number one reason we see people moving off of Facebook, because they're tired of having to pay someone to go in and add and remove people when they get new members. And the last thing I'll say is a lot of you are going to be familiar with the Buddy Boss theme, which previously I hated with a passion because it was poorly built in my opinion. They've done a complete rebuild on their entire tech stack, and it is kick butt, because I won't say the other word because, you know. But yeah, we've been doing a lot of builds on that recently, and it's very Facebook-esque, very much like Tribe. We've resisted Tribe just because I don't like not having the control, and I don't like them having to go off of my thing, even though it does look very, very robust.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I've got 2 questions here from Debbie, who I'm not sure if Debbie's still on, but she'll get the recording either way. So Debbie does, am I thinking of the right person? Yeah, I think Debbie does consulting for like dental offices, and has like different training and stuff for how to like optimize their dental practice. And she like had a big boom during COVID because a lot of dental offices were closed. So they were investing in like training and like revamping their back office and stuff, but now they've reopened. And so she's looking for different ways that she can like build her business, her consulting practice, that like doesn't compete too heavily with their day-to-day operations. So 2 questions. Number 1, she's had Wishlist for a while. Is Wishlist antiquated? Do you still see people working with it, or is there like merit there?
They just did a big launch recently with
yeah, I mean, it's still around, and I know Stu's website is on Wishlist. It's just heavily customized, but I didn't know if you had like, at one point Wishlist was a one-time like licensing fee, and it rather than an ongoing annual fee.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It still is.
It might still be, yeah.
I don't know that they've changed their model, which to me, anytime I see a one-time fee for anything, I'm like, great, this is gonna be outdated quickly because
obsolete in like a year.
Yeah, programmers are expensive. Mm-hmm. If someone came to me saying they wanted to use Wishlist, I'd be like, that's great. I'm sure there's somebody out there that can help you with that. I wouldn't even touch that.
I kind of feel the same. I have not had anybody on Wishlist, nor have I even seen inside Wishlist in probably 5 years, which in the software space is a really long time. Yeah. So, but also, if it's not broken, like, don't fix it.
True.
Yeah. Okay. But let me, the other side of that is like, Debbie, if you're not married to it, you know, we've got a panel of people who work in memberships and Wishlist is not on their preferred list of tools, probably for a reason. So like, if you're not invested heavily in Wishlist, like it may be an easier path to results elsewhere. Mm-hmm. Okay. But let's get into her strategy question. So same asker. Back to Debbie. She's
got a question.
People pay
too.
What's that?
She's got a follow up on the QA.
Oh, hi Debbie. Oh, great.
She's integrated to LearnDash to have quizzes and CE certificates. So I assume she's already got Wishlist installed.
Yeah.
Got it.
2013.
Got it. Okay. Perfect. Hi Debbie. Okay, so the question was, I've got a membership site for dental professionals. I also offer CE credits, continuing education credits, so dental professionals can renew their license. People will pay for their month, and then midway, they want to cancel. She feels taken advantage of because they got the info, but then they wanted to cancel. So how do I communicate to members that they can cancel, but they have to provide a runway leading up to the cancellation, and X number of days before their payment to cancel? And do I revoke it? Can their credit card still do a chargeback for the membership of that month? Like let's zoom out on that in general. Like any membership that has content as part of the experience, what's to stop people from, or how do you mitigate people who might sign up, watch a bunch of stuff, and then cancel or request a refund? What have you seen like as far as like safeguards or logistical tools to help prevent or mitigate that?
Yeah, the biggest thing is to drip your content out over time, and just, if you're charging people monthly, don't give them everything all at once. And that also takes the pressure off of you, because you can have a bunch of content ready to go and say, okay, I got like a 2-year runway before I have to make new content, really. So that's.
Yeah, and dripping it is not just a benefit to the owner of the site. It can also be a service to the subscriber, because it provides the content at a pace that allows them to consume it and apply it, right? And we're just going to keep calling out Stu, who who he just says the number one cause for cancels is overwhelm. And so if a member signs up and they see a bunch of content, years worth of content, it feels like, well, I'm never going to get through all of that, so why bother? But if they sign up and there's a clear progression of month to month what they're going to get, well, the path becomes a little clearer and it feels a little more achievable.
To build on that, Debbie's written in the QA again, each month is new content, a new quiz, and new CE credits. So 2 things on that. We have a couple clients that do CE credits. If you're providing CE credits, you have a really good argument to say this is a year-long membership. Sorry, if you want CE credits, this is a year-long commitment. We cannot give you CE credits without knowing you're committed to your education. Second thing is, if you're producing monthly content at that rate, this has been a fantastic model. We're still in the process of testing to see how it plays out over time, but they only have access to the content that they've been around for. So if I join today, I have access to this month's content and maybe last month's content. So 3 months from now, I'll have 3 months of content. If I cancel, I lose all of my content. And when I come back, I start at 0 again. It's a really, really beautiful motivator to keep people on, because people it's the fear of missing out. They don't want to lose all the stuff that they've accumulated.
Yeah.
And Jade added this in the chat. There was an example from Tribe Live, which is like to tease the next month's content, right? Mm-hmm. So I think the example he gives is like, you get the first chapter of a book, and then you get the first like page of the next chapter, and say, next month, we're going to give you this one. So you read it and you're hooked, and then here's what's coming next month, right? And then in the next month, you get the next chapter and a section of the chapter afterwards. So each month it's kind of like teasing what's to come. If I was more organized with MonkeyPod, I would be telling you what the webinar topic is next month, right? And forecasting it out so you could, plan and commit and get excited about like what's going to be coming up, and so that you're not canceling at no risk. It's at the decision that you're not going to get access to the content that was planned coming up. Hi, Finley. Is that Finley?
That's Belle.
Got it. The favorite acted up. Debbie asked,
but loving.
Yes, right. Debbie asked, is this provided at the time that they make their monthly payment? The way I do it for OG members is like, if you cancel, which like never ever happens, so nobody even think about that. But if you cancel, you are paid through your next like charge date. So like I have automation in place to store when your last payment was, the date of your last payment, and then none of your access gets removed till the end of that payment period. So when you pay on the first of the month, you're paid up through the following first of the month. So no matter when somebody cancels, there's like an accordion style window where they don't lose access until it prevents them from being charged again. So you could set something like that up so that, if they cancel on the day after a payment, you don't have to refund them. They just get access for 29 days. And I don't know about chargebacks, like technically, but I would definitely add terms and conditions on your purchase that says like, when you cancel, right, you're canceling future payments and not retroactively, canceling the things you've already received access for. Yeah.
I think that I don't think there should ever be a return policy that allows returns for membership site content. Like never.
Tough. Yeah, it's tough.
I think there's exceptions to the rule, but like as a standard, I would never suggest that my clients be like, oh yeah, and if you don't like it, like we'll give your money back. Like it's not that type of relationship, I don't think. Yeah. I wanted to comment on but if they pay on the 15th and all of that stuff. So we have a client who runs a membership site that is basically providing content 2 weeks before the next month. So it's like a social media curation type membership. And when she first came to us, she was like, okay, like our
Jade just left. She had
Don't worry, you didn't do anything wrong. Everything's
I know,
okay.
like, I'm not even touching anything.
She had a hard stop, and I was like, don't worry, we'll be done by then. Whoops.
We're just too much fun. He wasn't expecting us to be this much fun.
I know, I didn't make enough of a cocktail. I'm done.
Wait, we can have cocktails on this?
I was drinking a White Claw, so I don't know what y'all are talking about.
I'm prepared.
I haven't cracked.
I've been watching it this whole time. Like, I don't want to be the one to drink on this call.
Melody, now
Meanwhile, I'm with like-minded people. I should.
Why have we not become friends yet?
Well, right now, your country is preventing me from coming to visit, so there's that.
Yeah. Jamie, you were saying.
sorry.
So she basically has a membership model where they're releasing new content to all active members on the 20th of each month, but there's like weird cancellation windows. Like if your billing date is between the 15th and the 19th, then you can't, like, I don't know, like it just, what I want to say is it can get very, very complicated with your like automations and integrations. And so I don't love, so I would, again, this is a perfect example of where a membership strategist would be able to help you work through like what your goal is or what your vision is, and then like how you can create that in whatever platform works for you. But we have not talked about credit systems, which is the solution that we are providing for this client as we're kind of moving into another project. And the idea is that, okay, with a credit system, it's kind of like your Audible credits, right? Like there's a library of content and like things can get released, but it takes out the need for there to be any weirdness with like their payment date versus the date the content drops or whatever. So there's definitely creative ways to make that not be a huge pain in the ass. So yeah.
That's good.
Matt has a good point of separating out the membership from I think you can charge a premium to offer CE credits. I do not think it should be one price. Your membership CE is a premium. It's a pain in the butt. To be able to offer CE credits, you had to go through all sorts of hoops. So they should be paying a premium for that.
Absolutely.
Mallory.
Yeah, I think there's like 3 or 4 members who have continuing education credits as like an offering that they provide in different fields. That's fascinating to me.
Yeah, very fascinating.
Allison said she loves us, or maybe she meant you guys, but yeah, I'm going to include myself in that. And Jamie Hayes, who's joining from the Brisbane area down in Australia, wants to know, like, obviously courses and memberships oftentimes pair well together. What thoughts or suggestions do you guys have? Oh, Mallory just ghosting us hard.
She did chat. You just don't pay attention to the chat.
Okay, well, I see it, but
we're here for you, Greg. We're here.
Yeah.
It's okay.
And then he had a follow-up question. Is there a target amount of like time that you can like ask of your members? Too little time, maybe it's not perceived as valuable, but too much time could be overwhelming. So is there like an amount of content that you might like, that you feel like helps people feel like they're making progress, but isn't overwhelming?
I like sitting on Stu again for this.
I was going to say, I'm going to be, Stu, just
an hour a week, right?
Yeah, I was going to say I would release some type of one new piece of content a week. And that can also include Q&A calls, co-working, hot seats, laser coaching, like all the other things about, you know, providing support around your topic of the month or whatever, however your membership is set up. I'm
with you on that. I think as far as courses and membership, like pairing, there's a lot of people conflate them. There's like a little confusion about which is which. I think the course teaches like how to do something, how to improve something, a skill or a tactic or a strategy. And then the membership is like application of that. It's where you go to practice that thing. So for the Monkey Pod model, right, you learn Infusionsoft like skills in my courses. And then you transition to becoming a member as you apply those and run your businesses and have questions about the content. Now, that isn't the way that it works for everyone. Some people join the membership and never go through the courses, but you can feel that in their questions because it's a lot of stuff that like was covered in this foundational progression path. So I think the course is a great way to establish the baseline set of skills, and then the membership is an ongoing place for them to get support as they apply those. That's the way I think about it.
From here to here, and then from here to forever.
Yep.
To forever, exactly. Yeah.
To infinity.
The membership dream, right? Forever members.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, guys, this is great. I think we need to wrap up, or we'll just keep going forever. And I am really grateful for your time, for your expertise. And if you are interested, I think we should probably do a follow-up at some point because there's a lot here that we didn't get to and that I have like thoughts and opinions on. So, and I want to try out the live stream feature in Zoom and see if I can stream into the group directly. But
I did
is there anything?
Yeah, it's super fun.
Yeah, this was because it was all new. I was like, let's try it first without the live stream, and maybe on my second one I'll live stream. But before we wrap up here, Cody's asking us for an after party. Before we wrap up here, is there anything you guys want to add? Any final closing thoughts or words of wisdom for people?
Where's my inner spew again?
I know.
It's at the bottom of that wine glass. Yeah.
I'll chug it.
I mean, I'll go. Like the advice I have is like, don't overcomplicate it, right? Yeah. If you have people that you serve, a membership is a way to serve them on a regular basis. It allows them to get access to expertise, to training, to resources, and it allows you to serve an audience, to multiply or to scale like the things you're already doing to support individuals, but to create like a community around that allows them to, serve one another. And I just am so proud of the OG membership. I want every business to have some version of that because it gives me so much. And I'm just convinced that like it's the answer. It's my favorite part of my business. It is such a powerful and consistently impressive solution. I think every business should have something like that for their audience. Yeah. But what do you guys? Yeah.
And I had to follow that up. Whew.
Yeah.
I mean, you know how it's not a surprise. Like I think I'm pretty clear about how much I love this. But yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to go, Melody, or do you want me to go?
I'll go. To follow along what you were saying of, we live in a world where people feel alone an awful lot of the time. And the power of memberships is being able to create these really amazing fringe groups. Whereas you as a business owner, one gets to make money off of creating this really fringy group of people that are weird like you are. And I think there's an incredible power to that. Like the knitters, like I can't believe how successful these knitting membership sites have become.
Totally.
To follow on what you were saying, Greg, and the other point is I've just become a really big fan of small incremental growth is much more powerful than large transformation. Large transformation can happen once, but not consistently over time. And every business that we work with that scales consistently every year, it's not about those crazy jumps. It's about every day working a little bit more, getting a little bit better. And this is something that it's not the bright shiny object everybody wants to hear on the fancy OG webinar or anyone wants to hear up on stage, but it's what I see works consistently all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Find a way to quantify the progress your members are making.
So good. Yeah. So I will just wrap up by saying that I believe that every single business owner has a membership somewhere in their, in their bones, right? And what it did for me personally was open up an opportunity for me to serve and support more people who did not necessarily fit into the category of an ideal client for one-on-one services, high-end projects, like things like that, but who still needed support. And the membership gave me the ability to like reach far and wide to do what I love to do without it being a burden for me. and without it being a burden financially or whatever, a burden for them.
You're right. It stretches, it challenges who you think you are the right fit for, right? Because if in Jamie's history, you've worked primarily with like private clients, and the membership model is yes, it is a way to continue to add value for your private clients, but it's also a solution for people who either aren't ready or aren't ready yet to be a private client, right? It's like, hey, you want advice and coaching, but you can't afford my hourly rate. Like, this membership is the intermediary that not only serves them and serves you, but helps them become the business that can afford the private client experience without, blinking.
It will take them on the success pathway from bootstrapper to master marketer.
For anyone that does run an agency, membership site's a beautiful method to get new clients, because then they're already trained up. Jamie's totally on point.
They speak your language. They've done right. Exactly. Okay. Well, hey, thank you both very much. And thank you guys for tuning in live. Kwanzaa says thanks. Jamie said thank you. Allison wants the after party. This was just a ton of fun.
Fun.
The after party in the Grove.
Thank you so much for hosting, Greg. This was awesome.
Thank you, Greg. Thanks for organizing, taking the plunge with webinars.
Yeah, well, in order to facilitate all of our smiling faces, I needed a new tool. So time to grow up, Greg. All right, bye, friends. I'll see you in the group.
Bye, everyone.